ask back in I think it was November when you saw and you spoke to us. You mentioned your plan for the off season was really to build off what you'd established in the month and a half with the Jays. I'm just wondering how the rest of your off season progressed and whether you made any adjustments over the past few months that you're taking into spring training.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this offseason, looking back coming into last year, I struggled with my delivery and just finding a comfortable delivery for me. As far as like my windup, I felt fine out of the stretch, but my windup just felt a little uncomfortable coming into spring training. So I think that was a main focus coming into this spring training, is having a delivery that was consistent, that was going to allow me to pitch the way I know how to pitch, get ahead of guys and put them away.
And essentially that's the same one that you managed to finish last season with?
Yeah, I mean, there's just little small tweaks here and there, but for the most part, it's the same delivery, just trying to find a little more consistency with that delivery.
All right. And back in November as well, you mentioned, fastball command has long been a focus for you, a place that you put a lot of emphasis. I'm just wondering, as you, over the years, especially as new tools and more technologies have come into play, have the things that you use to check on your delivery, measure the different things in terms of where your body's at, has that changed dramatically? Are you using a lot of new tools now to try and figure out what exactly your body's doing, or are you more the same things that you came up with?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, technology has gotten way better, and we have slow-mo cameras that can break down. I mean, they can break down your delivery very, very small increments of like frames per second. So it is a lot different now, and it's really cool to see that technology and be able to, go pitch to pitch and see the difference. Okay, this ball was here, and this is what my delivery looked like, and this ball was here, and it looked it was different. So it is really cool to see that.
Great, thanks, man.
We'll go next to Rob Longley.
Hey, Robbie. In the month or so that you were with the team last summer, what did you like about the fit for you personally, whether it was with your teammates, your fellow pitchers, and the coaching staff? What worked for you in that month you were with the Blue Jays?
It was great. I love the team. I came in, young team. They wanted to win, and they were in a position to win. So it was a really loose clubhouse. Even when we won a little skid there for a little bit, everybody was loose. We knew we were still in a good position, and I love that about the guys. And obviously, working with Pete, being able to work with them more now has been great, and that relationship is just growing. So it's good.
When you've been at your best in your career, whether it was 2017 and 2019 and other points, you've been a front of the rotation guy. How important is that for you to be in that? Is it for you to be in that position? And do you see sort of opportunity with the arms currently on the Jays roster?
I'm going about my business every day. I think that's the way to go about it. I mean, we currently have, I think, 3 lefties that could potentially be in the rotation. So you're going to have to find a way to split those guys up. You can't really throw back to back to back. So, understanding that that's just part of the game. And, the rotation number is just what it is. Obviously, Ryu is our ace. He is what he is, and he's been consistent, pretty much his entire career that he's been healthy. So, yeah, I mean, it's just really, we got a lot of good arms that it's going to be a fun year.
Thanks, Robbie.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Scott.
Hey, Robbie, thanks for the time. Just when you look at kind of the outside picture, there's a lot of talk that this rotation just isn't good enough. When you guys look at that in the clubhouse and talk about that, how do you feel that you guys stack up and kind of can get through this?
I think you just understand that that's a lot of outside noise, and we can control what's in our clubhouse. You just tune out all that outside noise. You don't pay attention to it, and you go about your business and do what you do.
And then for you specifically, obviously kind of reining in the walks is key. You kind of mentioned the delivery, things like that. Is there a lot of things that go into that? And what is the focus for you just to kind of limit those?
Getting ahead and staying ahead, putting guys away. I mean, I've never had a problem with putting guys away. I've been a high strikeout guy my entire career. So It's just a matter of getting ahead and putting guys away. But strike one, and I think that's the biggest key, is getting strike one and getting ahead.
Great, thank you.
Go next to Caitlin.
Hi, Robbie. Good to see you.
You too.
Going back to your relationship with Pete and Matt, I'm just wondering how the communication was over the off season. Like, how often did you like to hear from them? Like, what was it text, video calls? Like, how did that sort of work over the off season?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. A couple video sessions, texts here and there, phone calls. Anyway, the great thing about Pete and Matt is they're both open. So, and they're both available. They make themselves available. So, it really didn't matter. I could call either one of them and get a hold of them. They were available, and we're able to talk through some things, and it was good.
When you're communicating with them and making adjustments or just kind of learning about yourself, are you the type of pitcher that is more analytically inclined and likes things to explain to you that way, or do you like things explained to you less leaning numbers?
Yeah, I think I'm probably a less leaning numbers guy, more feel. Just understanding, you can show me numbers, but I do better if I, can see a chart, like a heat map. Heat maps are a little bit easier to read than seeing numbers on a guy. So for me, like, that's kind of how the best way to communicate is with that feel, with a pitch or whatever, than just like showing me a number on a guy.
I can relate. I also don't like numbers, so. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Mike.
Hey, Robbie. Sorry to get back to all those questions about the rotation and the outside noise, but just from the innings perspective, you and Roark are the only ones who in the past have really hauled a lot of innings on a regular basis. Do you put, I don't want to say pressure on yourself, but do you feel like you have to go out there and be that guy who can reliably get into the seventh most nights? I don't know if it's as far as just a leadership perspective or just because someone in this rotation needs to run those innings.
Well, I think you answered it with, me and Tanner have been the guys that have, pretty much done it. I mean, we know what it's like to throw in Rio. Like we know what it's like to throw 162 games, pitching that, 33 starts, go a full season. So, and Matt's as well. So I think you kind of answered it. Like we've done it before. It's been done. And so it's not really anything new.
Is there, what is the issue, if there is an issue, with going from pitching for 2 months to pitching for 7?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if there is a difference. I mean, it's just, for me, there's not really a difference. I feel great and my body feels great. I can't speak for other guys, but I'm excited and ready for this year.
All right, thanks.
We'll go next to Gregor.
Hey, Robbie, thanks for doing this. You were one of the first guys to sign this off season. Was there a benefit to that to you to with the resources you were talking about, like being able to lean on Pete Walker in the off season or having some resources via the club? Was that helpful to you, or was the signing early more beneficial on the mental side, just kind of getting that certainty and knowing what to expect this upcoming year?
Honestly, it was just for me wanting to be back here and that comfortability with the staff and with the team and with the guys in the clubhouse. I think that was a big priority. And also, getting back in the AL East, I feel like competing in this league, the competition's great. I mean, arguably, the AL East and the NL West are two of the top leagues. So, that was a priority as well. But the comfortability with the staff, I think, was a major role in me signing early here.
It was another off season that was really slow to develop for a lot of your peers. Did you kind of expect that? Like, were you anticipating kind of being here in mid-February and a lot of your fellow pitchers were kind of still left unsigned looking for jobs?
Not really. I mean, you don't ever expect that. You understand that sometimes the economy, you know, obviously the economy took a hit, and you know, it happens. You understand. We've seen it happen before where the off seasons have gone slow, but you never really expect it. I wouldn't say that.
Is that concerning for you as a player, just seeing how things have been slow to develop?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously the way everything happened in 2020, it was, I think everybody kind of expected that. You know, I don't think it was I don't really think it was a shock per se, but you don't expect that many guys to go unsigned for that long.
For sure. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it.
We'll go to Arden.
Hey, Robbie. After the trade last year, you kind of had the opportunity to throw about just about every catcher on the roster at one point or another. What kind of stood out to you about some of the younger guys like Danny and Reese and how they handle a starting pitcher and kind of approach a game?
Yeah, you know, I was able to throw to everyone. They all are really good in their own ways, and you know, I enjoyed throwing to all three of those guys. I don't know if there's really one that really stands out to me more than the other guy, but you know, obviously, you know, I felt like I had a kind of a little bit of a relationship going with Kirk there behind the plate, and we kind of were developing a little bit there at the end. That was pretty fun.
Well, and you threw to him in his big league debut, if I remember correctly. I mean, you know, he's 21 at the time. What do you kind of make of the way he carried himself and handled such a big jump in competition?
Yeah, he did great. You know, we came into the game. We went over the scouting report. You know, he was on board with everything, and you know, honestly, there was a couple times during the game where I wanted to throw a pitch. He threw something else down, and he was so convicted in the way he threw it down. I just threw the pitch because I believed in him. And, you know, those 3 times, handful of times, however many it was, it actually ended up working out because he, you know, kind of channeled that conviction in the pitch to me. And it was really good.
Did you catch you off guard a little bit how advanced he was at such a young age?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think he's got great hands. He catches the ball, receives really well, strong wrists. You know, he can catch that low ball really well. So it definitely surprised me how well he was back there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Go back to Shy.
Robbie, just wanted to follow up a little bit in terms of mechanics and things of that nature. Just wondering, as you're getting going at the beginning of camp here, are you pretty much back to sort of the way you were 17, 18, 19, or should we be seeing a bit of a hybrid? I'm wondering, was part of your goal to get back to, you know, the way you were 17, 18, 19?
Yeah, I think it's some form of that. Obviously, you know, that was 4 years ago, so I'm not the same guy body type wise. You know, more innings on my body. I'm a different pitcher than I was then, but definitely I think getting back to some form of that delivery, yes.
And in terms of usage patterns, are you expecting much adaptation, or is that sort of that skill set from that time that's ideal? If you're doing that, then that's your path to success.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and looked at some numbers from 17, 18, 19, and there were some differences that I didn't realize. I'm not going to say them on camera, but there were some things that I did in those years where it was kind of like I didn't realize I was pitching that way. And I thought I was pitching one way when really I was pitching another way, as far as, you know, the way I was attacking guys. And so that was kind of an eye opener to me, to see those numbers and be like, okay, well, maybe that's why things were going the way they were. So definitely get back to that for sure.
All right. Sounds like I have a date with Savant. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll go back to Scott.
Robbie, have you guys talked about how that ballpark's going to play at all? Any conversations like that in the clubhouse with your fellow pitchers?
No, not really. For me, you can't change the way that you pitch going into a ballpark. I think, you are who you are. You just have to pitch your game. I think if you pitch your game more times than not, it doesn't matter the stadium. You're going to have success as long as, it's working for you.
Great, thank you.
All right, we'll go to Hazel.
Hey, Robbie, can you compare your frame of mind or where you were mentally a couple of off seasons ago when you were considering overhauling your mechanics, and then your kind of state of mind this off season? Is there more of a comfortability going into camp this time around?
Yeah, I would say that definitely more comfortable. I made the change when I got traded over here to kind of go back to my old delivery. And so in this off season, there wasn't really any big overhaul. There wasn't anything to really think about besides just, fine tuning, just some little things here and there. It wasn't like a massive overhaul of a delivery. So, I definitely think that I'm more comfortable coming into this year than I was coming into last year for sure.
Coming into last year, would you say you were kind of more searching, uncertainty as far as your mechanics?
Yeah, it was
sure
just
you weren't panicking at that point.
No, it was just like finding that consistency. I think that's, as a starting pitcher, you're throwing 100 pitches a game. It's finding that consistency throughout that 100 pitches. And so for me, it was trying to find that during spring training. Whereas this year, I feel like I have that consistency coming in with my delivery.
Great, thank you.